There are many people that need and use government assistance, but there are also many people that abuse the assistance. It should be mandatory to pass a drug test before an individual can receive government assistance. To understand why drug testing should be mandatory for welfare recipients, you need to understand what welfare is and why the drug testing would help the welfare system. According to WiseDeep, welfare is a government assistance that is intended to help people who have little or no income. It is aimed primarily at families with children, older individuals, and those who are disabled. This can include unemployment, food stamps, and Medicaid. Who can receive welfare? According to the Heritage Foundation, to be eligible for welfare, a person must fill out an application, they must provide proof of financial need, and they must meet certain federal and state requirements. Roughly 100 million people, or 1/3 of the population, receive welfare benefits each month. What requirements need to be met? The applicant must be a legal citizen or resident of the United States. They must have a social security number, and they must be seeking employment, training, or education, and in some cases, the applicant must meet certain family obligations. Where does this assistance come from? The majority of welfare spending is funded by the federal government, making welfare spending a significant portion of the federal budget. Currently, total annual welfare spending costs taxpayers nearly $1 trillion. How much does welfare cost? According to the Heritage Foundation, during the past 2 decades before the recession, welfare was the fastest growing part of the government. Between 1989 and 2008, welfare spending increased by 292%. The United States now spends 50% more on welfare than it did in the 1990s. By 2022, combined annual federal and state spending will reach $1.56 trillion. It is estimated that President Obama will spend $12.7 trillion on welfare over the next decade. This will cost over $130,000 for each tax-paying household in the United States. Now that you know what welfare is, where it comes from, who can receive it, and how much it costs, you will have a better understanding of why a drug test should be mandatory for the recipient. Many state legislatures are debating whether people receiving welfare should undergo a drug test to qualify for the benefit. Drug testing ensures that welfare truly helps those who need it. It is getting harder for individuals to receive government assistance. Numerous states have recently tightened rules regarding food stamps and unemployment. According to governing, Arizona, Georgia, Oklahoma, Tennessee, Utah, Florida, and Missouri have enacted drug testing or screening laws for applicants. The Robert Wood Johnson Foundation reported in 2007 that approximately 20% of temporary assistance for needy families recipients reported having used illicit drugs at least once while receiving benefits, and at least 5% admitted they had a substance addiction. Drug testing will make sure people receiving the money use the money for what it's supposed to be used for. Drug testing will also reduce welfare fraud. According to eHow, welfare fraud is deliberate abuse of the state's welfare system in order to unlawfully receive public funds. By unlawfully receiving welfare money, it deprives those in need from the much-needed help. Welfare fraud is a burden to taxpayers. The funds for welfare programs come directly from the taxpayers' pockets. Taxpayers do not want their money to go towards someone that does not need the assistance. Welfare fraud also falsifies data for policymakers. According to eHow, the amount of funds given to the welfare system is determined by the public needs that are expressed through the applications for benefits. Application based on false evidence provides policymakers with inaccurate evidence on the workforce and the true needs of Social Security. The number of people able to enter the workforce and contribute to taxes are underestimated, while the number of those in need on the welfare system is overestimated, which can lead to serious effects on the state budget. Welfare is intended to help people that need and deserve the help that welfare provides. Drug testing welfare recipients will help make sure the money goes to people who need the money and not to people that are just abusing the welfare system.